Here's Phil, everybody. Can I hear you? Let me see. Do you have your audio on?
Now I got you.
Okay. Hi, Phil.
How are you, Melanie?
Good. I'm thinking about you today.
I
How are you?
appreciate it so much. I'm good. I'm good. I don't like to relive September 11th, 2001 on 9/11 so much. I kind of avoid it, but I got my car. I just came out of Costco, believe it or not. I popped in and I looked at my phone. I saw you were on. I figured let me throw a comment in, and I really really want to thank you and appreciate that you're doing this. It seems like so many people forget so easily, and unfortunately, I have to say this. Even our president, he failed us today by not coming to New York or to Shanksville or to the Pentagon. But that's just an unfortunate situation, and I really feel like this is a day when politics kind of gets in the way of the heroes that lost their lives that day, and all of the people that still suffer the illnesses related to 9/11, including myself, Bill Cannon, DutyRon, all of us that were down there. So I kind of recognize it quietly. I don't believe in the going down there on 9/11 with all the pomp and circumstance in the media. So that's just me, though.
Yeah, I know. I understand, and I feel you too. We have Duty Ron in the house.
Hey
Hi.
guys.
DutyRon, my man.
Yeah, Melanie, I just want to say thank you for even just giving us the opportunity to come on and hang out with you for a couple of minutes and, remember September 11th, 22 years. And I was telling you on the phone before, the last 2 years has just been rough and I don't know why, and there's no explanation for it. But we have each other and that's what friends are for. So, reach out to, people like yourself and Ed. We did almost an hour and a half show, and then we showed some media towards the end. But yeah, it's difficult, and we got the community. Our community is great. So thank you everybody in the chat and people who support, the men and women, and not just in law enforcement, in the military, and the regular plain people who paid the ultimate sacrifice that day and volunteered. The iron workers, the heavy crane operators, the teachers, the nurses, the doctors, the lawyers, the everyday people who, you know, who's suffering now, 22 years later.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. I have friends who are just being diagnosed with things now that are related, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that so many people that really sacrificed in, such major ways by going there every single day. Police officers, law enforcement, firefighters, other first responders, doctors and nurses, giving out waters and feeding people, running the soup kitchens basically for everyone that was working down there and everyone that donated food and everyone who tried to help. I mean, there's never been a time really in New York history where New Yorkers have come together like that. I don't think.
Yeah, no,
100%.
100%. Yeah. Hey, and
Absolutely.
Phil, I hope you're doing well, health-wise and everything. We heard from Ed Wallace today, prostate cancer and a whole bunch of different surgeries from 9/11 related. And Ed's got autoimmune disease and all kinds of things going on, and he's still traveling the world and, trying to the educate the world on forensics. So, yeah, I always think of my brothers and sisters and everybody that that was there that day. So
Yeah. God bless Ed. We know he's been through a lot of different health issues. I myself started coming down with some health issues in 2007. That's when I first went for my screenings. From 2007 to about 2013, 2014, that's when things kind of leveled out. I didn't have cancer, thank God, but a lot of other different issues, and everything is in check. You got to stay on top of it. Duty Run, as you know, you got to go for your annual screening, stay on your meds, and hopefully you are able to get through it and live a long life, and with the medications that are out there and the support system that's out there. I thank God for the World Trade Center Health Program, because I really feel like they saved my life. My health turned around over that 6-7 year period quite drastically. So and one thing I wanted to point out, and Duty Run, I'm sure you'll remember this as well. We were down there and breathing that crap in, and we knew it, and we were saying this can't be good. And then all those years later, everybody just started getting sick. And I was down there for 7 weeks, and people down there, I know people down there for a whole year,
Right.
from beginning to end. And
Right.
we just went. We got the call. We went, and that was it.
Look at Louis Alvarez, right? He
Talking about him earlier.
testified before Congress, and days before he passed away and went into hospice. If you look at his before and after pictures, just unbelievable. And he was an advocate for all of us right up until the end. So, and John Stewart, you can't forget him. Here he is out there being a voice for everybody. It's not just for the first responders. He got that coverage for everyone going forward. But Melanie, I mean, I gotta say, getting back to what you did today, and you went out to the courthouse, and you stuck true to your audience and to your subscribers, and that's what it's about, building this community. And when you said to me, "Oh, I don't feel right, maybe I won't go live," I kind of encourage you to go live, because I think it's important for us to stay connected with the community, and that's why I pushed forward today. I didn't want to do that live stream. I really didn't. I wasn't feeling it. But I said that I think it's important to share our experiences with everybody that take out their time and spend hours watching and listening and supporting and subscribing and sending encouraging messages on all the cases that we cover. So kudos to you, Melanie, and getting that Johnny Ray interview. And I just loved it. I thought it was awesome.
He's a pretty cool guy. He'll come on with us. I think so. But yeah, it just felt wrong to me today. I felt, and I don't know why, it feels worse some years than others. And I think maybe like after everything we went through with the lockdowns and realizing again, how precious life is and how we take so many just day-to-day things for granted after being locked in our houses for close to 2 years and not being able to lead normal lives. I mean, that's like the second time this has happened in my lifetime. And like, this just feels, I don't know, it still feels raw all over again. And you're right. Like, where was the president today? I don't want to get into any politics, and I'm not talking about it, but I feel like it's important, Phil. I have to agree with you there.
He let us all down, guys. He let us down. And I don't want to get too political myself, but it's like a gut punch when the president of the United States, on a stopover refueling in Hawaii, decides to give a speech on, the 3,000 that gave their lives that day, or a little bit less than 3,000, and the 5,000 that have died since from illnesses related to the exposure down there. The worst history on the soil of America. Worst attack in history on the soil of America. And I think the response from the White House was, well, 22 years after Pearl Harbor, politicians and presidents didn't go to Hawaii. Well, that's not a good enough excuse for me. I'm sorry.
Ron, you got anything to say on that front?
I could go on and on, but I don't want to turn this into a political fest. So I agree. I concur. Again, it's a day to obviously remember. We should be remembering every day what happened on American soil, not just here at the World Trade Center in New York City, but in Shanksville and at the Pentagon, and all of the people who have been affected, and the flight attendants and the people on those airplanes. We should be remembering them, and Todd Beamer with the Let's Roll.
Yeah.
These are the people you don't hear gets talked about on the news. I remember them all. I think about them all. I pray for their families because my own family, Ralph, his wife, has gone through hell and back, and both her kids, who were 1 and 2 years old at the time when Ralph was killed, my cousin, a local 3 electrician, on his second day at that World Trade Center job. He had 7 years in the union as a journey foreman. So he had a great job. He had a great career. He just bought a house in Baldwin, actually West Hempstead, on Baldwin Road, and he was renovating it and had a brand new kitchen put in. He was doing all the work himself, and he had his life ripped away by his radical Islamic terrorism. So these are the things that I keep in the forefront. I think about these people. I think about this situation 365 days a year. It's not just on September 11th. It's just that I don't like to force feed this to everybody on a regular basis. So I keep it within myself. I pray. My aunt is a Catholic nun. I talk to her all the time. And when you're not feeling good and you're feeling blue, you're not a coward to go and get help or talk to somebody. And
Yeah.
and, and I've
100%.
I've I've done that myself. So um, that's the big picture here, and that's the conversation that needs to be had and needs to continue on a regular basis. And I want to thank everybody again in the chat and the people who watch the replay and subscribe and help us out with
Yeah.
encouraging messages, because you guys are the true heroes too as well.
Yes. And I even feel weird going down to ground zero now, like the new building, like that's just not my skyline. I miss my skyline. I do.
I hear you.
I haven't been back to ground zero since this
I haven't
happened.
either. I mean, but I see that new building and it's such a tourist attraction and the whole Oculus thing. And I'm just like, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
If I'm around that area, I just kind of avoid it. I don't know.
I think one of these years I'll muster up the energy to go back there, but it's just I think it would annoy me to go there to see everybody taking selfies and listen, I'm not this is not like me, this is just my opinions of how I think I might feel about it. And so if I was to go there, I'd want to go like when there's nobody there. And you can't do
Right.
that. It's
No.
open to the public. So
Middle of the night, maybe. Right.
Yeah.
DutyRon, I'm with you 100%. I feel the same way, that if you go down there, I guess because we lived through it, we saw it. When you see the World Trade Center, Twin Towers at your feet crumble to the ground, and you see the death and destruction, to go back there and just be in that kind of an atmosphere, that kind of just it doesn't sit right with me. That's why I've never been. I've been down there on assignment before I retired, but I've never been down there to the museum or anything like that. I do want to do it, and maybe DutyRon and I can do it together. They do have some first responders can go in on days when the public's not allowed. There's certain times of the year. We got to look into that, I guess. But
well, there's a family only the night before, like so September 10th. I could have went down there with my family, but they don't even go there because they've been there a couple of times, but they don't even like to go there. So I think maybe even on the 25th, coming up in a couple short years, 3 years. I think maybe on the 25th I might venture out there, or any time that I feel it might be right. But I would do it on a day with the families, because all I got to do is show my ID. My cousin had the same last name as me, and I don't think anybody would decline me entrance to that location. So.
DutyRon, I got to ask you something, because this happens to me every year. Around the 1st of September, I start to get like a little jittery, start to feel like that little knot in my stomach. And then today it's like the knot is there all day. And then it seems to like ease by tomorrow. Do you get that kind of feeling?
Well, you see, I was telling Melanie on the phone tonight, like Friday, it started really coming over me. And usually it is earlier, like, as soon as August 31st comes. And, we've been busy with this escaped prisoner. So I've been covering that every day, and that's been keeping me busy, not thinking, but I'm still thinking about it. So on Friday, I preemptively told, the powers that be at my location, I said, I'm taking Monday off, and they didn't even question it. They're like, okay, do it, take whatever you need, and which is great. So I took off in advance. So because that's how blue and down I was feeling. And when I went to the cemetery today to visit with my cousin, it's just really just a very small piece of his remains. I went and saw my grandmother. My mother's at the same cemetery, and today was a bad day for me. And then at 12:30, I went live right straight from the cemetery. And like how I was able to muster that up is Ed Wallace pushed me and said, "Hey, let's do this. It may be therapeutic," and it turned out to be good because we had such great feedback from our audience, and it didn't garner a big, we didn't have thousands of people watching. It's just a shame when you look at it like a big thing, a big tragedy, an attack
Right.
on our country. you go live with it and you have a couple hundred, or I think we had like 800-900 people watching, which was, I thought was decent. But you could talk about an escaped prisoner and have 15,000 people watching. It's more important, more people are more interested in it. This kind of just fades away a little bit, and it's human nature. I get it. I'm not making a big thing about it, but you would think that people would come out in droves on this thing and support just for once a year. And like I said, I think of it all every day, all the time.
I think it should be a national holiday, in my own personal opinion. I think 9/11 should be a national holiday. Thank you so much, Stella Bella, for your very generous super chat. The smallest gestures of kindness have the greatest impact. Pay it forward for all the 9/11 heroes. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not often that we end a show in tears, but I just, that's how it is today. It is.
Yeah. It's sad because these memories never go away. Being down there and working on that pile, and when I was looking at the clips that I was playing from the Bucket Brigade, it really brought back some deep memories for me because of the things that we saw and the people who were crushed underneath cars. And I could go on for hours about the horrific things that I personally witnessed myself. But when you see this stuff and it's here, it never goes away. It's just a time to sit and reflect, and I reflect often on it. But this one time, just once a year, like you said, Melanie, I think it should be a recognized holiday, because it's not just something that happened to New York City. It happened in 2 other locations, and it happened to the entire United States. And I think the world, for that matter, was impacted by this, because all of our allies and our partners across the globe stepped up and joined forces with us to fight radical Islamic terrorism. And I'm not afraid to say that. And I hope you don't mind that I say it on your show, because
100%.
It is what it is. That's who killed 2,977 Americans on that fateful day, and not just Americans, people of all walks of life and from all different parts of the globe, but they were Americans living here in America. So
hundreds of nationalities were killed that day, Ronnie. You're right about that.
Yep.
Yes.
What I remember too is Windows on the World. I used to love to go to that restaurant. And all of the workers who were there, getting ready to start serving lunch. And, it was like this amazing restaurant. For those of you who don't know, that was at the very top of the World Trade Center, and with amazing views. And when you were up that high in the towers, you could feel the buildings swaying when you were up there for dinner, and such great memories of that place. And crazy.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I'm gonna jump out of here because I'm exhausted.
I think we should all say our goodbyes and our final thoughts. And we love you all. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for listening. And we appreciate you so much, because without you, we don't have channels. And for your support and your super stickers and your super chats, and to my moderators who are the best on YouTube. And Ron and I share a lot of moderators, and you guys are the best. We love you so much. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you, D, getting in here with the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. I see on my email that some of you have bought me a matcha latte, and I thank you for that as well. This show today was not about financial gains or views or likes or any of that. This is we're here, and thank you, and Phil and Ron, for coming on with me, because you were actually there, and thank you for your service. And I love you guys too. So if you guys have any final thoughts, we'll wrap. But this is a heavy one tonight. Thanks, you guys, for hanging in.
I'll yield to Phil.
Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate it. I'm just feeling good about coming on and talking about it, and recognizing that it was a terrible day, 9/11, but at least we made it through, and hopefully we can carry on the tradition and support our first responders that are sick and still coming down with illnesses. Thank you to everybody, and thank you to Ronnie. Thank you for your service. I know you were down there as well, and that's all I could say right now. Thank you.
Melanie, I want to just end it by thanking you for letting us come up on your platform. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
I didn't plan to talk about this at all until again next year. So Again, the people that are in our live chat, the live interactive chat is really what makes our communities go. So you're the heartbeat of our community. So thank you to all of you for, again, I can't say it enough, for the comments, the, you know, hitting the thumbs up and doing all those great things that we ask you to do. This is some of the greatest places to be on YouTube, because to be honest with you, there are some shitty places to be on YouTube. So
Oh yeah.
thank you for sticking with us. And Melanie, I love you. I appreciate
Oh,
you.
I love you guys too. You guys are the best.
Thank
Everyone,
you so much,
peace,
Melanie.
love, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.
Never
Good night.
forget.
Never forget.